Alright, team, so we're back with some Final Fantasy 16. Today we got a trailer for the game that, as far as I'm aware, came out of nowhere. I don't know if there's a gaming event happening in Japan. I haven't heard anything, and I haven't heard any rumors or seen anything like that. I don't fully keep up with the game, as some of you are aware. But as far as I'm aware, they just randomly dropped this trailer on social media and like YouTube and shit. Kind of crazy, especially given that they make a big deal about the previous two, because we got the first trailer back in like early, or late 2020, like October 2020 or something. And then it took all the way till like mid this year, 2022, for them to finally give us a second trailer. And then like just a couple months later, they're just giving us a random trailer on social media with no hype. It's kind of cool if that's what it is. If there's not a game event happening in Japan, I like that can happen, those kinds of surprises. But it still is kind of weird, but also like the timing's kind of strange because it's right in between the Konami Silent Hill stuff and the Capcom Resident Evil stuff, like right in between this shit, right? Between both those events. They're just like, here's a trailer for 16. I don't know if they're doing it intentionally to try to like maybe garner some hype for themselves, take away from other companies or something like that. Not necessarily in a malicious way, just like a kind of competitive gaming way. And when it comes to this trailer, I haven't seen anything yet except for like the very like first second or two just from scrolling on Twitter and stuff like that. And I've seen some people share like screenshots. I think they give us more of like what looked like a sex scene from the last trailer, so some Final Fantasy fucking, that's pretty cool, dude. And then I did see some other people say that I think it's rated M, and you do see that at the beginning of the trailer once you download it off of YouTube and shit like that. At the very beginning it says, I think, likely mature 17 plus or whatever. So another M-rated Final Fantasy game. So which we already kind of been assuming that since the first trailer where you see somebody get their fucking head cut off. I think it's kind of it in terms of like the intro to the video. I don't know even what I'm expecting from this trailer outside of sex, apparently, and an M-rated game. I haven't been super queued up with the game. I don't even know if there's been any info out there since we have last talked about it or got the last trailer, so I don't really have a whole lot of expectations, so let's just, let's get it done, I guess. See what happens. Take a sip of the Black Rifle coffee.
It has been 1,500 years since the fall of our forebears.
It's a long time.
And Valistea has been slowly dying.
Hell yeah, Clive!
Ever since.
This is like a playable area right here. You can go into this cliffs and shit. Dude, absolutely. I want like not linear, not open world, in between.
We're in the middle of the Deadlands.
What the fuck are these guys?
Suck this place dry. Any no trees,
Dog,
no
a
birds,
wolf, whatever.
no matching.
Darkness spreads as day gives way to twilight. The
Absolutely.
mother's flame now all but a flicker.
We cannot live.
That's
without
fucking
the
cool.
blessing
Look
of
at
the
that.
crystals.
Dude, look
The
at all
crystals work their
some of these
magic
locations.
through us.
Holy shit.
You have been blessed, Joshua.
Joshua.
Who shall claim their fading light? The Grand Duchy of Rosaria, bastion of tradition.
At the very least, we must secure Drake's breath.
The Holy Empire of Sanbreque,
Looks so fucking cool,
where
dude.
ambition is divine.
So I wonder.
The Imperial
I won't pause
banner
it,
shall
come on.
fly over every city in storm. All shall bow before their emperor.
I wonder if he's a
The
bad guy.
Dalmekian Republic, whose fortunes shift with the desert sands.
And what if our wise
Jack!
goaded into war
Kinda, though.
without any thought as to what chaos it might reap?
The Iron Kingdom, forged
That
in
looks fucking
faith
cool too.
and
Just giant
fear.
crystals everywhere.
Their souls were sullied with the stain of ether. I merely cleansed them of their corruption.
Or the kingdom of Waloed, indomitable
Waloed?
in its isolation.
The dark swallows
There's
more
fucking-
of the realm with each passing day.
How much of that we're gonna see though, right?
As
You
the
know what I'm saying?
fringes fade, the people flock to the mother crystals.
From a
Phoenix?
single
I haven't paid attention to
spark
none of those.
will the land ignite. In
More
the
blood.
year 860,
This guy gets head cut off, wouldn't it?
the
Is it?
Imperial army will march upon
Yes, sir.
Rosaria.
That one's. Oh, they shot the
And
fucking
from
head!
the
Hell yeah!
slaughter shall a new shadow rise.
This is the Iffer, right? I think. The icon.
To fall upon the dominance.
Is it the people that are dominants or people that are icons? That's how much I keep up with this. Look at that. Get him, Joshua.
To summon beasts
Whip his ass.
should command respect, but instead has left us outcasts.
Titan, what is it? I think. Titan, and then it's like Ixion. Phoenix, Ifrit. Whoever the bird one was.
They have the right to use us, to leave us to die when our bodies
Whoa.
are spent.
I'll crush him! Flay him!
What's happening? Oh, hell yeah, bitch. Get him, Clive. So excited for this combat system. It's like remake, but improved, essentially. And obviously it's solo. And then fucking summon 1v1s, dude. Hell yeah.
It is you who shall bow to me!
I don't know who you are. What the
Come
shit?
then. Show us the strength of your will.
Rise, ye crownless kings. A reckoning is upon you. A war
What that is.
of the icons.
Who'd that be? Summer 2023, which already kind of knew that. So that's a thing. So I realized that at certain points during that reaction, like it was kind of choppy with the frame rate. It's because I have this camera set up to like a higher quality than it normally is set at, just to try it out. And of course that fucked up the reaction a little bit. I also realized that at the part of the reaction where I made the joke about that guy looking like Jack, that just like a second or two later he says the word chaos, which was kind of fucking funny. Look, but dudes, I'm looking forward to Final Fantasy 16. It's just that I'm not super into it in terms of like the lore and shit. I haven't been keeping up with it that much outside of what videos we've done about it. If we haven't talked about it in a video, I probably haven't seen it yet. And I'm kind of going into the game, not necessarily blind, but sort of blind. Kind of what I did with 15. Like with 15, I'd watched the trailers and shit, and then I picked up 15. That was kind of it. Like I didn't know the extended material. I didn't know there was like animes and all the other fucking spin-off games or whatever the fuck to like learn all the lore for 15. So I don't know all like the stuff for 16 currently. It's better that way. Like I'm more focused on FF7 for this channel, right? We like Final Fantasy, we like other Square Enix games and other games in general, but I'm really just for FF7. That's kind of the focus of the channel. So I'm picking it up. It's a day one. I'm playing Final Fantasy 16. We'll talk about it. We'll review it. We'll probably do more videos about it leading up to release and shit like that. We might even break down this trailer maybe the next day or so. Something like that, right? We'll still make content on 16. It's just not like, I'm not like the lore guy for 16 by far. Something I'm kind of curious about when it comes to the gameplay, of course, with like the exploration, how that's going to work. But they show off a lot of cities, a lot of massive cities. But is this going to be the standard kind of, you know, games that we've had for a long time where you're seeing a massive city, but you only get to explore part of it? Like we've seen gigantic cityscapes in that trailer, but can I explore the whole city? Like, and even if you can, which would be cool, is there substance to it, or is it just a kind of an empty city that you can explore? I don't know. Like that's where I'm kind of curious about with the exploration. Some of the like landscape shots you get looks pretty cool. Like a little bit you got, it looks like it might be kind of gameplay or an area you could explore. That looks good. Of course, there's a siren going off in the background. Somebody just had to die while I'm recording, huh? The gameplay looks pretty good in terms of the combat. Like it's this kind of modern action RPG stuff, right? Like remake, kind of like Witcher 3, that kind of style of game, whatever. Soulsborne and some. I'm gonna talk it over. Fuck you, sirens. I'm talking. People need to learn to have respect and die after getting recording my videos. That'd be kind of nice going forward. But yeah, the game looks good, dude. Like the combat, I haven't looked into like the mechanics of the combat, but it has like the 4 options that I think that's what like Soulsborne games have, where you have like the D-pad, you can do like whatever hotkey items or whatever it is. Then you have the ability to like use like icons or the summon like attacks or something like that. We learned that from like the last trailer, and I think maybe even the first trailer. I'm not entirely sure. Again, this shows how much I've been keeping up with the game. But the combat looks fun. The game looks fun. The fucking, I pointed out in the reaction, dude, some of those like shots where you're seeing like the gigantic crystals and shit, like some of those locations look fucking fantastic. Some of the coolest looking locations maybe in the entire franchise that I've ever seen, dude. And then getting more or less like confirmation that the game is going to be M-rated, and them also giving us more on the scene where the dude gets his head cut off and Joshua gets covered in blood, but them actually like showing the fucking head hit the ground and roll and shit. Like it seems like it might be pretty damn mature, not just like, oh, there's some blood in the game so it's mature and a little bit of cussing or something. Like we might be seeing motherfuckers get their heads cut off a lot, I hope. And I hate to bring it up, I gotta mention it though. Like, we gotta talk about it. We always talk about 16, we bring up remake and like rebirth and stuff. I just hope that they lean in that direction, man. Even if they can't go on and make it like a, you know, an M-rated game, make it like a hard T-rated game, right? Like give me some blood. We know we've seen some blood in the rebirth trailer, but I just hope this is like I hope 16 is like the start. 16 and Stranger of Paradise is kind of the start of them going a little more mature direction with the franchise as a whole, not just remake and like rebirth and shit, and not just 16, just the franchise as a whole. Because like you know, I grew up playing these games since I was a kid. I'm a grown-ass man now. I want some mature shit in my Final Fantasy games, man. And it's not that it takes away from my experience playing a Final Fantasy game if it's not mature, but it's like, I need the shit to be realistic to a certain degree, right? So if somebody gets cut or stabbed or shot or whatever the case, they should bleed. Like, that's just kind of how it is. That's real. And I know pretty much every time I talk about, like, realistic stuff in Final Fantasy games, there's always somebody that's like, oh my god, dude, it's a fantasy game. I'm like, no shit. But people die in Final Fantasy, right? People get injured and succumb to their wounds, so they should fucking bleed too. Like, that makes sense. Like, goddamn. But that's more or less the video, my dudes. That's my reaction to the new Final Fantasy 16 trailer. What was it called? Ambition, I think? Final Fantasy 16 Ambition trailer. If I had to give my thoughts on it, I give it a out of 10. But what did you think? For those of you that are like a lot more excited and looking forward to this and keeping up and always looking for information for 16, like, what did you think of the trailer? Because they've been giving us some massive trailers. I think every trailer's been like 4 minutes long, hasn't it? It's kind of crazy. Like, it's good. They have a lot to show, and there's probably so much of the game we haven't seen yet. But they have been... It goes without info for a while, but then they drop a massive trailer on you, which is kind of makes up for it to a certain degree. So what were your thoughts on the trailer? That's pretty much the video, my dudes. Social networks in the description below. Follow me on Twitter, dashingdavidYT. That's it. Bye.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Logain, or leave it like Cobain.